Okay, it's Thursday, December 5th. Just another update on MSTU. This is kind of the micro strategy ETF that I've been tracking since last week. On the weekly chart last week, I decided to shoot a video just highlighting the context after such a parabolic run up and then a big sell-off. Where do we stand? To me, it was always a very choppy environment that we're now in, where, the downward, after such a big move up, you don't expect a big collapse, but yet after such a big sell-off, you're not expecting that uptrend to really comfortably, sustain back to the upside. So I identified what I called a choppy environment, and that's really what's unfolding here. Number one, I've been shooting videos the last few days, how I kind of anticipated after that weekly this is a daily chart, but after we closed, red on the week, that we would kind of test a little lower, and we tried to do that for a couple of days. We couldn't go lower for 3 days in a row, and I discussed yesterday how, once we kind of moved lower and couldn't follow through and then got back through that first bar high, that could have been a reversal signal to the upside. So we closed strongly green. You expect follow through higher. Obviously, with Bitcoin moving above 100,000, you had a big gap up today, but really what's unfolded here in this choppy environment is not unexpected. You had that green bar from yesterday after kind of failing to reach the weekly lows. You expected follow through towards these highs. I discussed that on a recap video yesterday. And right out of the gates here, selling came in, and now you're kind of working back into this choppy range again. And if you look at the opening price action here, first bar was red and the second bar followed through lower. So, it's not as if you knew you were going to get such a sharp pullback, but there was certainly no buy signals out of the gates here on this one, very short term, even though, you never know how this day is going to end up. But, we're about an hour and a half into trading here. But clearly we're failing, this little breakout here and moving back into this overall choppy range. And that's not surprising. I was discussing on some earlier videos in the week how some of the best trades are going to be, failures either up or down. So, I was looking maybe to take out this pivot and then reverse, or I said as time went on, if we couldn't hit there, then you can look for a reversal signal to the upside, which developed yesterday. In this case, now we move up, we take out this pivot and reverse. So these are the kind of trades that happen in these choppy environments. It's tough to get sustained price action one way or the other until this whole choppiness resolves on the weekly chart. And today's a good example of kind of taking out the high, but then opening price action immediately pointing you, at least lower to start. And then you kind of see where things go structure-wise. And at the moment, we're just kind of moving into yesterday's range. So it's possible, price holds here and then follows through higher at some point by the end of the day. I don't see anything really strong to the upside, in terms of, you have to really get to that first bar midpoint, and I don't see us getting up there necessarily after such a strong move down, although you never know. So you'll have to kind of see how this bar ends up and then see the expectations going into tomorrow. If it closes strongly red, you almost expect it to follow through lower, and then we'll see on this weekly chart as we come to the end of the week what really unfolds. It's just a big inside week, and that's kind of what choppiness is all about, inside price action. There's a lot of volatility, but it's still just inside. So anyway, just thought I'd follow up. Again, yesterday gave you an opportunity, in my opinion, to buy this thing if you were watching it closely as it moved up through the first bar, and you had some nice follow through. And today, if you wanted to be real aggressive, the only trade to take was a sell here out of the gates after kind of taking out a pivot and opening price action, at least pointing you, a little lower to start, and then to see if we fill in this gap and what happens. So we did have a pretty strong move lower, but the trend is definitely up in the big picture. It's just that you got to wait for different opportunity, unique opportunities on the daily chart to take advantage of that. Or if this weekly chart gets more constructive and green, then you can start feeling comfortable that this uptrend might continue with a sustained kind of movement. So that's just an update here, morning, Thursday, December 5th, just short of, follow through for just kind of the rest of the week here, just to show you what unfolded after last week's kind of very, sharp reversal to the downside. So now you're in choppy mode, and we will see how today the daily chart finishes up. That'll give you a good indication what might unfold into tomorrow.